Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the season finale of Effing It Up. Lorelle, we did it.
We did it.
This is our 12th episode, and this is going to be our last one for the season. So in honor of that, we said, let's sweat our proverbial balls off on my back porch.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the black and white trees, guys.
Yeah, aren't they beautiful?
Aren't they beautiful?
Stunning. Literally stunning. At some point you will see sweat dripping off at least one of us.
Yeah, well, I think that's I'm telling you, it's in theme.
I also want to make your
chose.
whole day and point out that the cat is laying in the window and you can see her from here.
Oh my gosh!
Laurel, tell me about your feelings of being at the end of our first season, of our first podcast.
I feel mostly proud of us, Maya.
You know, I feel mostly proud of us too.
Look at us.
Laurel and I both work full-time jobs. Usually both of us are working 40 plus hours a week. So
Technically, I work 2 part-time jobs, but
2 part-time jobs. Laurel's better than me.
No.
Honestly. No. Whatever.
It's true. I am better in every way.
In our very limited free time, we have been able to pursue this passion of ours in watching movies, talking about movies, and creating a podcast and making you all listen to us talk about the movies.
Yeah. And Maya does most of the work, so.
No. You know I couldn't do this without you, my little dark rain cloud.
No, she's being modest.
You know I would literally die without you.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm like every 2 weeks we hook up what's that called when they go and have their blood pumped?
I don't know. How would I know that?
Dialysis.
I didn't go to med school, Lorelle. I'm an art major.
Yeah, so.
Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor. Or I'm an art major,
I'm
not a doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm still proud of us.
Yeah.
Whether you know the word for dialysis or not. I'm
Thanks.
still proud of us.
Thanks, Lorelle. Cue intro.
Yes.
Cue intro music.
And this is Effing It Up.
So, everybody, this week for our season finale, we decided to go back and watch an original classic movie, given that there is a new one coming out in theaters soon, or is already in theaters.
It might be in theaters already, I'm not sure.
I don't know anything about anything. But
Yeah,
anyway.
we're professionals.
Just a donkey, don't worry about it.
Is that a...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love Pennsylvania so much. Why is there just a donkey?
He's very loud.
Well, our neighbors used to keep peacocks, so... Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah, I get it. Oh my word, that's a really good peacock sound.
Thank you. I learned how to do one from Eliza Schlesinger.
I don't know who that is, but
stand-up comedian.
Good for them. Nothing is more terrifying than a peacock screaming in the middle of the night, because it truly sounds like a woman being, like, murdered. Yeah.
Anyway.
We got more sounds.
Just gonna rewind real quick.
I feel good about this.
Yeah, I feel great about it. Just gonna rewind real quick.
Yeah.
So anyway, this week for our season finale, we are going over a classic film that is currently having a remake, sequel, playing in theaters right now. But we watched Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
For the first time, for both of us.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Where do we even start? Where do we even start with this movie?
Do we need to give a mini summary before we jump in, or not?
Yes.
Because honestly, even though it's classic, I didn't know anything about it other than the face melting scene.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. I mean, it's been out since 1981, so if that's spoiling anyone,
Spoil it, like I'm really
not
sorry.
feeling too bad about it.
No.
Have you not spent any time on the internet?
Apparently not.
This person who tunes in for our podcast but engages with no other part of the internet has been spoiled, but only them.
Only them. Only the one fan we let down. Sorry, one fan.
Sorry, fan.
But anyway, so little quick summary for Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. The titular character is Professor Indiana Jones. I love his name.
That's a pretty great name.
He's doing great. But anyway, in this movie, he is treasure hunting, or as he likes to call it, acquiring special antiquities what we like to call stealing.
Yeah, he's an archaeologist.
Yeah. But anyway, so he pursues the Lost Ark of the Covenant, which we're very familiar with as good evangelicals.
And additionally pursues any pretty women in the vicinity.
Yeah.
As every classic hero should.
Archaeologist should.
Yeah.
That's actually part of like the core study in archaeology is how to get babes 101.
Yeah.
It's a gen ed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in the course. Didn't you read the course?
I did.
Overview?
I did actually. I really wanted to be an archaeologist and steal things and steal women.
Yeah. It seems like a fun job.
But anyway, with all that out of
You
the
get
way,
to fight foreigners. You get to have babes. What's not to love?
I know. It honestly sounds perfect. We're laughing, but it sounds great. I love everything about it.
Anyway, yeah, that about sums it up.
That about sums it up. But
And there are Nazis.
oh yes, and there's Nazis.
And if you're like me and you thought it was a modern time, set in the modern times, it's not.
it's in the 40s.
It's in the 40s. Like, these are the original Nazis.
Yeah.
I assume they were neo-Nazis, but I was wrong.
Yeah, no. They're just Nazis.
I was like, oh.
OG Nazis.
Oh, they're speaking about Hitler in the present tense.
Yeah, but it's great. If you want to watch bad things happen to Nazis, which I always do,
Yeah.
this is a great movie.
This movie has got you covered.
If you want to see bad guys die horrible deaths without feeling any guilt or remorse whatsoever, this is the movie for you.
Red paint everywhere. It's pretty great. Red paint and wax. What more could you want?
I could want for us to jump into our first category.
Yeah, okay.
And for you to take the lead.
Oh,
you
boy.
Beautiful, stunning goddess. You muse of literature.
You need to shut up. No, the first category is writing.
Mm-hmm.
Maya. And I didn't write any notes for it because I was frankly enthralled by the movie for the first hour and a half, and then my attention span waned because there was an ongoing action scene.
Yeah.
And also, I can
Actually,
only watch
Lorelle,
about...
do you mind if I back up a little bit?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just going to do the let's jump into our first category.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump in to our first category. Category number 1. Writing.
Writing.
Take it away, Lorelle, for the last time until season 2.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good lead-in. Now I feel a lot of pressure.
Yeah, make it good.
It's gonna be a good one.
Make it good or I'll kick you off the deck.
Well, I wrote 0 notes because I was frankly just enthralled by the movie. What the heck is happening?
Let's go kick
It's
you
not
off
good.
the deck. I threaten.
I'm getting kicked out the deck.
Yeah,
And it's a substantial drop.
it is.
And I've already established I can't even sit without injuring myself. So,
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
no, the writing was actually, other than the sexism and the cultural appropriation, it was great. So if you can excuse a little racism and sexism, and why shouldn't we?
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
Well, there might be some of that as well. I mean, Indiana literally just burns a bunch of snakes who are just minding their own business.
Yeah.
They're not even threatening him. They're
Well,
just
they actually did seem a little threatening.
Well, the one cobra kind of eyeballed him, but I mean, he didn't spit or bite.
You gave him the evil eye.
He gave him he kind of was like, I thought that leaf was a bee. It's fine. I just have an
We're exposed to the elements out here.
We're in nature.
We never should have left him inside.
This is not on brand. Who do I look like? Indiana Jones.
I don't know. I'm sweating more than Harrison Ford was in that movie.
And that's something.
It's just a puddle down there.
At one point, he like wipes his hand and like looks at his hand as though he too is surprised by the amount of sweat.
Yeah.
Anyway, I forget what I was saying, but I thought the writing was good. Like, I was really, I mean, it's a bit of a long movie. It's almost 2 hours. I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. There were a couple moments that I felt it could have been a little bit shorter.
I don't actually know that it could have been that much shorter. It's just, it's still long.
There were moments where I was like, oh, like, I feel like you could have skipped the whole boat scene.
Yeah. Which was the boat scene? I don't even remember.
Well, they originally get the Ark of the Covenant back.
Oh, yes.
They think they're getting on a plane to
Yeah,
England,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then the Nazis board again. So there's
Yeah.
like, that's like, it felt like it was one, there's a lot of back and forth between Indiana
Yeah.
Jones getting the Ark and the Nazis getting the
Yeah.
Ark, and like then Indiana Jones getting it again, and then the Nazis stealing it back.
It's like
so I
a-
feel like it could have cut.
Yeah.
You could have cut down.
That wasn't
one
as fun
more.
as like the baskets and like some
Yeah.
of the other stuff. And
Yeah.
ooh, animal cruelty. We're talking about animal cruelty.
Yeah.
I do stand one act of animal cruelty in that
Oh,
movie.
please share, Lorelle.
The death of that freaking monkey.
Oh my gosh,
I was like,
yeah.
please.
The Nazi monkey.
You're right. He was a Nazi monkey.
At one point, I'm pretty sure he put up his little paw and
Yeah,
hailed
he
Hitler.
gave a little monkey Nazi salute.
Yeah. To the Führer.
And the Führer.
Yeah.
Heil Hitler. Oh my gosh, that monkey was so annoying.
Yeah.
He's just as bad as Dexter in Night at the Museum, or like the monkey
Yeah.
from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Monkeys,
that makes me
I
feel
all
better that
hated.
you. Yeah, that makes me feel better that you didn't like them because they were my least favorite part of both of those movies.
Correct, they sucked.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I have younger siblings.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, if you're listening. Anyway, honestly, I don't really have, other than the racism and the sexism and the animal cruelty, don't really have much to say about the writing.
I don't have too many complaints apart from the,
Yeah,
all
the
the terrible
egregious-
things
all
that
the
happen to
terrible
women
things.
and minorities.
Yeah,
and
the women
animals.
don't have much. Yeah, I mean, at one point, Indiana Jones literally is like, the treasure is more important than your safety, and leaves her tied up, so.
Yeah, leaves are tied up in the Nazi camp.
And then the Nazi camp. But,
Like-
like, it's a really fun movie.
Yeah.
And it's got jokes that actually really made me laugh.
Oh my word, we cackled.
We cackled. We were cackling. We were howling.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, it's just really fun. Like, Indiana Jones is, Han Solo in the desert. What's not to love?
Every character that Harrison Ford plays is just Han Solo.
Yeah.
Some variation of Han
It's
Solo.
true. Han Solo in a cyberpunk future.
Han Solo in the desert.
Han Solo in Amish country.
Han Solo as a therapist, acting
Whoa.
opposite of Jason Segel.
What's that movie?
It's a TV series on Apple. It's a newer one
Yeah.
called Shrinking.
Nice. That's a great name.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one. Well, anyway, I mean, really, I love the setting. I love the desert, the like adventuring, the danger.
So good.
It's just good.
The vibes were
They
immaculate.
were. They really were. Minus the sexism.
Yeah. So
What did you think about the writing?
I had a couple notes.
Yes. Oh, you actually did your work.
Yeah,
Instead of just watching the movie.
Yeah, I was working, Lorelle.
I was having a good time.
thought the intro was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
The whole intro to the movie.
Is Mouse in with you?
Yeah!
Sorry, did I just interrupt you?
Yeah, Dad!
We're gonna leave that in. I think that adds to the.
Sorry.
Maya!
Somebody left the gate open, and so I'm afraid Mouse went down and peed down in the...
Well, she's sleeping in the window like
She's
a perfect
being
little angel.
freaking adorable over here.
Also, I didn't leave the gate open because I haven't left the house.
I wasn't blaming you.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
We really should have just stayed in your room and not ventured out into nature,
Yeah.
where like cats are escaping.
Yeah.
Leaves look like bees.
I'm gonna have to leave that part out because that makes it sound like I have a tumultuous relationship with my father.
I think you should leave it in. Add a little drama. Add a little tension.
They're like, oh, is
People never know.
Is Maya's home life safe?
I never know.
Is
what they
she
get.
okay?
We get them to send in letters.
Yeah.
Welfare
Anyway,
checks.
can you ask me my opinions on the writing then?
Yes. Maya, what did you think about the writing?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I think that the intro was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I loved like a mostly silent movie intro with not a lot of dialogue. It sets the universe that you're in. It sets like the characters and their intentionality. So you just see like Dr. Jones, Indy walking through the forest searching after a piece of treasure, and you get this great action sequence. You get booby traps. Like it's
The booby traps.
like it could have been like the intro was so good it could have been a short film.
yeah.
And
That's
that's
so right.
how I think every intro should be, because it sucks you right into the movie and you want to see what happens next because now you're invested.
It's
so
like
I
a-
thought
yeah.
that was amazing pacing. and
It
I
gives
feel like
you
it's
a really good taste of what's to come.
yeah. I feel like it's a very like Spielbergian tactic, and that's why he's one of the greats.
He is one of the greats.
That's why I love Spielberg.
Yeah.
I felt like the dialogue was not clunky. Like for, you know how in National Treasure, and I say this as someone who loves National Treasure.
You say it to someone who loves National Treasure and as someone who loves National Treasure, I assume.
Yes, there is a lot of weighty dialogue, over-explaining of everything, intellectual highbrowing. Like
That's the part that's fun!
it's fun, but I appreciate that the movie is really reserved with it. They kind of explain things quickly. They don't waste time, like, hyping themselves up over how smart they are. Like,
No, I'm not gonna steal the Ark of the Covenant.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence to save it.
I'm
That's
gonna
the only way to save the Declaration of
I'm gonna
Independence.
steal the Ark of the Covenant so the Nazis don't
Get
steal
it.
the Ark of
It's,
the Covenant.
it's just very like straightforward human emotions. Like it's just
Like lust.
you know,
Sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't like the romance.
yeah. It's not a great. The romance is not great.
I mean, it's not like
it's not awful.
horrific.
They honestly have good chemistry.
I'm just a little like he kisses her and then ties her up, so like
Yeah.
gags her, I guess actually.
Yeah,
Like, that's not
Lorelle's
a cool move.
uncomfortable.
At that point, I was like, no,
Yeah,
no.
I appreciate that the romance is such a back burner.
Thank
item, though.
goodness.
It's not. Yeah,
It doesn't feature prominently.
no. It's
Hallelujah.
it's so back burner. It's just a pot of peas boiling on the back of the stove
So
that you
true.
can maybe add to the pasta
Yeah.
later if you don't
If
forget
you want
about it.
to. Yeah, that's a good way to describe
Yeah,
it.
right. But yeah, I like the reservations with the dialogue. I wasn't like just get back to the action, like stop just talking at each other, like. But it also felt like I knew who the characters were. There was a lot of sincerity in the movie in how people interacted with each other.
Yeah.
But also like, and that was like on top of like the campiness and the
Yes.
and like the wild performances.
Yes.
So I
Oh
don't
my
know.
word.
There's
You
just,
know I love the campiness. That's what I'm here for.
it was
I'm here
just-
for the
it was-
dramatic
it was
Nazi.
It was such a good
Yeah.
good amount of camp.
Yeah, it was
Like,
it was the perfect amount
The
of camp.
perfect spoonful to add.
Yes, it was like maybe 2 spoonfuls,
Yeah.
but like just right.
Yeah.
Just right.
A
Amelia
spoonful of
Bedelia.
sugar helps the Nazis go down.
go down in propeller chunks.
Oh, and then the last thing I have to talk about with the writing, because
Yeah.
Lorelle and I both howled at this, is what I'm choosing to call a coat hanger joke.
Yeah.
When the really creepy, really hammy Nazi walks in, and Marion and Dr. Jones's nemesis Balak are both sitting there, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna torture her! Like, what are you gonna do?" And he whips out like what looks like it's nunchucks, and he's just menacingly opening it, and you're like, the tension is building. You're like, "What is he gonna do?" And then he folds it up into a coat hanger and hangs his coat on it and hands it off to another Nazi officer, and
Best
I
moment.
died.
Best moment in the movie. I did not see that coming.
It was unexpected. It was hilarious. Oh my word!
my
It was honestly a brilliant
that was
comedic
that was a
moment.
brilliant visual gag.
It was so good, like a Mel Brooks level of a visual joke.
Buster Keaton level.
But anyway, Laurel, that brings us. If you're done with writing, that brings us to our next category.
Yeah.
Category number 2:
Woo.
acting.
Your whispers can't all be at the same level. It doesn't sound like an echo. That just sounds like you're repeating yourself.
You know what, Laurel? Blow me. Respectfully, don't speak to me ever again.
Fine. Ooh, I will speak to our audience after I'm finished destroying the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay. Technology, man.
Yeah.
I
So
should
anyway.
have lived in the 40s. Not have survived the 40s.
No, they would have committed. They would have committed you.
You're right.
They would have committed you to an asylum so quickly. It's not even funny how
Yeah.
fast you would have ended up there. I say you, both of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
So as long as we go to the same asylum,
Yeah.
then we can spend our days in perpetual. Are you looking at the bug
Yeah.
that just flew past, or are you demonstrating what you would be like in an asylum?
Both.
Looking for bugs.
Yeah.
Just like Renfield from Dracula, who eats flies, in case anyone
Oh.
isn't a Dracula buff.
You know, good for him. Good for him.
Good for him.
I love that for him. So
Moving
anyway,
on.
acting.
Acting.
Let's just talk about some of our favorite performances in this movie.
Ooh. I mean, the campy, the cheesy Nazi guy. I mean, sorry, you're supposed to take this one.
No, this can be collaborative because
Okay.
I am a kind of decent person.
Unlike one of us.
I was gonna say unlike the Nazis, but if you want to throw yourself in there, that's fine too.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't realize that was the criteria. I didn't realize that we were including. Okay, all right. Well, it's fine. I don't know. The Nazis were somewhat collaborative.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Nazis.
No. They bore me. Quite
They
frankly.
bore me too.
Except for the one that wanted to torture everybody. He was a delight.
Yeah, and who was wearing like a three-piece suit in the desert.
Three-piece black suit,
Black, like an overcoat.
yeah, like a flat fedora, the round glasses.
What the heck are you doing, man?
He walked so that the guy from Captain America: First Avenger, the henchman guy, Toby. I always forget his last name. That's just the actor's name.
Yeah.
He walked so
looks
he
like a
could
Toby.
run.
Yeah, what is that guy's name?
No idea.
I don't know either. He's great.
Some Marvel buff might know, but apparently it's not Lorelle.
Hang on, I gotta Google something unrelated real quick. No, I don't care that much.
But anyway,
That'll come to me later.
for the acting, I have to talk about casting real quick. There are a lot of actors cast as nationalities that they are not even close to being a part of.
It's true.
The film mostly takes place in South America in the beginning. And Alfred Molina plays. I mean, I'm not even sure what country they're in the beginning, but Alfred Molina has a Spanish accent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Alfred Molina's not even close to being Spanish or Mexican or Hispanic. He's none of the above. And John Rhys Davies, who you might also know as Gimli from Lord of the Rings, plays Salah, who is Arab, and John Rhys Davies is Welsh. So we have a lot of crisscrossing of some nationalities.
Yeah. The more European you are, the more heroic you are.
Yeah. And if you're a main character...
I'm sorry. I should say more American.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you're in real life Christo-European, then you can be cast as anybody in this movie. Yeah. But we can't have any lead characters being played by people of other nationalities.
Exactly. No, that would just be...
But again,
that would scare off the audience.
This was before this was a cultural conversation. This is before we were like, hey... Maybe we shouldn't be doing that.
Maybe some Egyptians can act.
Maybe. Isn't that crazy? Anybody can act if they try hard enough. Anybody can act if given the opportunity. But anyway, apart from that, there is a lot of, again, genuine sincerity to the performances, even if it's a complete miscast of nationalities for certain roles. I think they did the best they could with them. Harrison Ford is just so good. I mean, yeah, he's just himself, but like he's delightful.
That's my question. Like, I love Harrison Ford. I watched Star Wars. That was the first thing I saw him in, and of course, you can't not love Han Solo.
You can't not love Han Solo.
But does Harrison Ford actually act? Or does he just show up and say his lines?
I have no idea, but I don't.
It doesn't matter.
Honestly, I don't even care. It's I'm
right.
like, I just love it. I'm like, it's
You're
great.
Right.
And then
he's great.
Karen Allen as Marion Ravenwood is arguably, I will argue, she is the best part of that movie. She is chaotic. She is unhinged. She is hilarious. She's funny. Like, I was not expecting her, knowing kind of how the other Indiana Jones movies are with their female protagonists. I was not expecting Marion to be as enjoyable
or just
as she was.
How movies like that and made in the 80s usually are with their female protagonists. She could have just been so annoying and pointless.
But she's brilliant,
she's
honestly.
Great.
I would watch that movie again just for Marion Ravenwood.
Yeah. Yeah, she brought a lot to the performance.
Yeah.
Not to sound like a podcaster, but she did. She brought a lot to the
Lorelle,
performance.
we are podcasters.
Don't tell everyone. We just are sitting down and having a natural conversation. We didn't realize these microphones were on.
Yeah. This is totally unscripted.
This is our finale.
I mean,
it's
it
just the 12th time we've accidentally
sat down and recorded it.
ourselves having a totally natural conversation.
I mean, I won't lie. This is completely unscripted, but I think everybody knows that.
Well, that's because we're so brilliant. A script couldn't improve on us. We're modest too.
We're modest too. I'm gonna check the camera real quick, but
great idea.
But do you have anything that you would like to say about the acting?
I mean, I really just, not to make you do all the heavy lifting, but I really agree with what you said. Like, whatever you said her name was, she was great.
Karen Allen.
I don't know anyone's names except Harrison Ford. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, Karen Allen was great, or whatever you said her name was just now.
Marion Ravenwood.
Okay, she's wonderful.
Lorelle paid a lot of attention in the movie.
I paid as much attention as I ever do. It was at the peak amount of attention I can pay.
Yeah,
I was only
fair.
distracted multiple times.
Would look over and Lorelle was like staring out the window, longingly, looking at the ceiling.
But we did have subtitles on for the whole thing, so when I was actually
paying attention, you knew what was going on.
Yeah, it was great. Harrison Ford is a treat. I don't know that he actually acts that much, but he's wonderful.
Yeah. A lovely man. The
cheesy bad guys. I love a villain who loves what he's doing. I've probably said this before.
Oh, my word, yes.
I call it the Palpatine factor.
Yeah.
You know, if you're having a good time being a bad guy,
we're having a good time.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, we're having a good time watching you.
Exactly. Yeah, so, I don't know. There's, like, multiple bad guys. None of them are Americans, because the Americans are the good guys.
Yeah.
But they're German and
Americans
French and very
would
southern.
never be the bad guys.
Of course not.
Never,
the bad
ever.
guys are the Germans, the French, and the vaguely Hispanic character in the beginning.
Exactly. Played by Doc Ock.
whose nationality is never really established, I don't believe.
No, we have no idea.
We have no idea.
He's just a traitor who gets murdered.
Yeah. Anyway. Honestly, I have really nothing bad to say about the acting either. This movie's gonna get high scores, I'm afraid.
About time. Season finale, and the scores are gonna be high, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a reason this movie became a classic.
This brings us to category number 3, visuals.
Speaking of visuals, Maya.
Yeah.
I can see the most adorable kitty paws right now.
I know, I can too. I love it so much. I
just had to bring that up again.
I can also hear the most annoying.
Oh my word, I was
sounds.
like totally blocking that out.
You were just like, kitty cat.
I was.
Kitty cat, kitty meow meow. Hey, Lorelle, do you want to take the lead on visuals? I know you had some strong opinions.
I loved them. I said while we were watching the movie, I was like, these are such classic visuals. They'd almost be considered cheesy.
Yeah.
Should we just keep talking?
Yeah, I think we're fine.
Okay. Cheesy by today's standards. A little bit, because, like, you can tell it's a movie. Like, the sets kind of look like sets. Yeah. The lighting doesn't look, it's noticeable. It's not like when you watch a movie and the lighting is so natural you don't even notice the lighting. You notice the lighting.
Like,
the lighting's practically a character in the movie.
I feel like in a lot of modern films, the idea is to make it as realistic as possible. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes, like, that's a really admirable goal because you're trying to replicate real life. Art imitates life. But I think you lose something when you stop, like, painting with your tools, like,
That's a really good way to put it.
I'm like you can create whatever world you want. Like, you control everything that's on the camera screen.
Yeah.
So you lose the chance to, like, play with lighting. Like, how in Lord of the Rings, like, some of their battle scenes, like specifically the Battle of Helm's Deep, are like a little dark, but there's still ambient light coming from places. Like, I don't know, maybe it's moonlight, but, like, you can see what's happening. And, like, then, like, movies like Suicide Squad, you can't see anything because
my word.
Realism.
That is one of my pet peeves.
Yeah.
I need to be able to see the freaking movie.
But, like you're saying, the beautiful thing with classic films like Indiana Jones, like, they're painting with their lights. They're
Yeah.
painting with like the sets that they're creating, and they're adding so much meticulous details,
Yeah.
like the thick blankets of spider webs in the caves,
so
like the
good.
skeletons that they're creating.
Yes.
That jump out at you and have snakes crawling through them.
And some of the scenes, the lighting is working as framing, if that makes
Yes.
sense. I don't know.
Yes.
It's just cool. Like, it's very noticeable, but it adds to the atmosphere. Like, the atmosphere is almost palpable.
Yeah.
You just want to like jump through the screen and hang out on the sets and play there.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
You're like, oh, I want to be there.
Yeah. I think there was, actually, you bring up the Battle of Helm's Deep. Isn't there a quote that someone asked the director of those films where the lighting comes from or something like that? I don't know if this is where the quote originated, but someone said, where does the lighting come from? And he said the same place the soundtrack comes from, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant. Like, don't be afraid to...
Don't be afraid to let people see what your movie is.
As someone who has never made a movie, I will give you this advice. But seriously, I want to be able to see the movie that I'm watching.
No,
But
I
even
100%
more
agree
than
with
that,
you.
even more than that, Indiana Jones, it's not just about seeing what's happening, it's about enhancing it.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it. It's great.
It's about, like you just said the word enhancing the atmosphere, building the world that you're in. Also, this is like just a guess I'm making 100%, but I said it while we were watching the movie. There is a scene where they're digging for the Ark of the Covenant, and there's this like thunderstorm like sky behind them, and it's pretty clear that it's like an artificial like screen.
Yeah.
But it's like a dark blue thunderclouds with like this really bright flashes of lightning, and I can't help but think it was a direct homage from Spielberg to the Ten Commandments movie, which again, Ten Commandments, Ark of the Covenant, like it felt like a little filmmaker's Easter egg.
Yeah. And you said earlier, you used the word play. You just do feel like there's a real sense of fun throughout the entire movie. Yeah. In like every aspect of it.
I'm like, they had fun making this.
It seems like it. Just from watching the movie, the acting and the performances, but the set designs are fun, the lighting is fun, the props are fun. Like everything is just fun. Like they're not taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
They're playing around with it.
Yeah.
And that's where some of the best creation happens, I think.
Oh my word, yeah. And even with like the playfulness, like the sincerity still comes through. Like
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
not-
I still care about
They're not
these
making
characters.
Yeah, they're not making fun of themselves like to the point where they're
Yeah.
not taking their own movie like
It's not the epidemic of self-aware Marvel films that have to like call out like what happened in other films. Like, oh, who would do that?
Okay, I
Like,
love Marvel, but you are so valid for saying that, and it's some point.
And I'm not saying this of like Marvel movies as a whole, but Marvel movies as of late.
They do kind of epitomize that sort of attitude, like, oh, we used to be dumb, but we're cooler now.
We're
aware of
cool
that.
now, so we're gonna.
We make depressing movies now.
Yeah, and
We
like-
learned from the mistakes DC did, and we said we can do worse. I'm sorry. I'm starting to sound like I'm not a Marvel fan. I'm just mad because I'm watching the new series right now, and it's just kind of dreary.
Which one is it?
Secret Invasion.
Oh gosh.
It's a little dreary.
Yeah, that
Like,
sounds about right.
This is just not my jam so much. Give me some colors. Give me some quips.
The epidemic of cold, dark realism in
Yeah.
current film and
Yeah.
television.
Like, for crying out loud, our movies about shape-shifting aliens. Why do we care about realism?
Yep.
Why do the characters all have depression?
I'm like, can't we just have a little fun? We're
I'm not
we're already all depressed.
I know,
in real
exactly. I'm not
life.
saying cinema isn't the place to explore depression. You totally can, but
Yeah.
I am saying that maybe Marvel isn't the place for it.
Yeah.
We watch Marvel to escape, not
Yes.
to learn.
I had a professor that,
watched-
that used to
yeah.
rail against people who would go to movies for escapism.
Oh.
And she's like, you're not actually appreciating what's on the screen. Like, if you're not thinking about what's happening. And I'm like, ma'am, and I've said this once and I've said it 1,000 times, movies are either created to entertain or educate. And it can be anywhere on that scale, and it's a success.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
And your professor would not like me because I primarily watch movies to escape.
Yeah,
I'm not interested
I
in-
watch for entertainment. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I watch because real life is depressing.
yes!
So give me some.
I'm like, I want to see a swashbuckling
Exactly.
archaeologist.
I
Like,
want to
come
see
on.
him. What did he use his whip for that one time? That was hilarious. I forget. He's
So many things.
so many things. Very versatile, apparently.
Like-
Tool.
I'm here to see young Harrison Ford take off his shirt.
Well, lucky you. You found the right movie.
I am a red-blooded American woman, and that is what I am there for.
I'm here to watch an annoying monkey get freaking murked.
This is the difference between Lorelle and I.
Oh, I'm here to watch the Ark of the Covenant light up like a science fiction weapon of mass destruction.
And melt the
and
Nazis to
melt
death.
the waxy flesh right off the face of a bunch of Nazis. Cinema.
good.
Cinema.
So good.
Anyway, we may have gotten off topic,
But that's fine.
The visuals were delightful.
Delightful. Laurel, I know you had some opinions about the sound design.
Ooh, wow, I get to talk more.
Yeah. Keep talking, Laurel. It's a
well,
podcast.
Obviously, you're right. You're right, it is a podcast.
I know I'm right.
Yeah,
You talk and I'll make sure it's still recording you.
I love that idea. I'll just keep going. The soundtrack obviously needs to be given the appreciation it deserves. You said John Williams, right?
Yeah. I want the soundtrack to be bottled so I can drink it.
Oh, yeah. And it does, again, I've talked about this before, but that classic movie soundtrack where it kind of cues moments in the film.
Yes.
It's not just background music, it's
Yeah.
part of the story, it's part of the character.
Oh,
So good.
my word.
And it just, like, it heightens your emotions and your connection to the story
Yeah.
as you're watching it.
It gets your heart racing.
Oh,
it gets you
so
excited.
good. I
Laurel,
mean-
sing it with me. Dun,
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 dun, dun, dun, dun.
No, I can't sing. You're the singer among us.
I asked you to go dun dun dun.
Yeah, that's too much.
I didn't ask you to. I didn't.
You
ask,
are asking too much.
I
of
didn't
Maya.
ask you to sing an aria, Laurel.
Well, I don't even know what that is, so I think I'm proving my point. I thought Aria was a girl's name.
Oh my god.
Isn't that the Little Mermaid?
Good lord.
But
this is Rumpelstiltskin all over again.
oh yeah, Rumpelstiltskin, my man, my favorite Disney princess.
Oh my gosh.
Just what were we saying?
You were talking about the sound design.
Yeah, I feel like the sound design for the rest of the movie, like the actual in-universe sounds, was also great.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
Like just the stuff that's like clearly, diegetic and non-diegetic
Yes.
sounds.
Yeah.
When the skeletons would like jump out and there'd be like a scream
A screaming sound as
that
if
wasn't Marion
as if the
accompanied with it.
skeletons
Or
are
screaming at her.
screaming.
It just builds that atmosphere.
and
like,
it's so fun.
it's just like one layer after the next.
Secret Invasion would never have screaming skeletons. They're too cool for that.
Oh, I'm so happy that they're too cool to entertain people.
Marvel's in its emo teen phase right now.
Oh my word, yeah.
But yeah, the sound design is just so fun. Like everything else in this movie, it's just playful.
A delight.
It's a delight.
Yeah.
I might cry. I
Okay.
had so much fun watching this movie. I had no idea what to expect. I just kind of expected it to be a bit sexist.
Yeah.
Which in that sense it did live up
Yeah.
to my expectations.
But I was pleasantly surprised
But
by how enjoyable it was.
In every other sense, it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. It's the
So
film
fun.
itself, apart from like, its I'll say errors of the times, it holds up very well.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a very entertaining
It holds
movie.
up better than a TV series to which I have a special connection, MacGyver, the original 1980s show.
Uh-huh.
Which, as we were watching Indiana Jones, I was like, is MacGyver just a ripoff of Indiana Jones? And I never knew.
I mean, I couldn't tell you which one came first.
I looked it up. Indiana Jones did come first.
Oh,
like,
were you
by
hoping?
4 years.
Were you hoping that
I was
Indiana
holding
Jones
out hope. I was
stole-
like, come on, MacGyver, don't let me down. But no, Indiana Jones came first. MacGyver's still great.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people now watch MacGyver to make fun of it.
Right.
People watch Indiana Jones to still love it.
Yes.
So even though I love both now, I can admit that Indiana Jones is more timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did something special there.
And on that note, Lorelle.
Did our camera stop again?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we're
You
still...
gave me a
we're
serious
still-
face, and I feared for our,
No, I was
all of
just
our
gonna...
brilliant opinions.
No, I was just gonna say, on that note, that brings us to our fourth and final category, directing. Welcome to... Wait, hang on. Welcome to my house.
I hate that song.
No.
I take it back. I don't want you to sing.
I'm going to sing whenever I want, Lorelle, because I have a song in my heart.
You're a free spirit.
But anyway, let's take this time to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, my man, Steven Spielberg.
Ta-da!
Laura, would you mind just double checking me and make sure that Steven Spielberg did in fact direct Raiders of the Lost Ark?
It better not
before-
be freaking George Lucas or something.
I know it's not
That
George
would really
Lucas.
hurt my heart.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love Star Wars, but all right, hang on. My phone's very slow. Indiana Jones director. I spelled.
I suddenly got...
This
You said
isn't
George
helpful.
Lucas and suddenly got very scared.
That would... Hang on. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Steven Spielberg.
Oh, thank God.
We dodged a bullet. We can sing all the praises we want and not feel terrible.
Woo! I was like, oh wait, no, please don't let it be George. I know George consulted, like, I don't know if he was like, worked on the script at any point in time. I know he worked on the script because I know he wanted Marion and Indiana Jones to have had an affair when she was like 14. Because, you know, George has done some fun work, made some movies. But the bottom line is that I would not leave any children alone with George.
I'll bet you George Lucas watched the final product and was like, too many bras, not enough metal bikinis. That was his opinion, I guarantee it.
Less bras. There's no bras in space, and there's no bras in the desert. Imagine if your legacy was just not wanting women to wear bras.
I suggest we should make that his legacy.
I mean, in some contexts, maybe he would be like heralded as a feminist icon, but but we know the real reason.
We know the real reason,
It's
George. It's not because you care about feminism.
It's the same reason he put Padme in that slinky black dress in Attack of the Clones.
Or chained Leia to a gross slug monster.
Yeah. Same thing. Both costumes were designed by George. Those are the only two costumes. He was like,
Is that true? Is that factual? Oh my gosh.
Gold bikini was George, and the slinky black leather corset that Padme wears in Attack of the Clones.
I don't remember, but it's been a long time since I watched those movies.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, like Padme's wearing a leather bustier that comes right up to here. Doesn't match anything else she's worn in this entire film. No, it's completely out of character.
It doesn't match her personality or her character as a regent.
Yeah, no.
The heck?
I'm like,
George.
I don't even, I'm like, there's no way Padme would have this in her closet.
Yeah. Oh my word.
But that one's George. That's old Georgie boy.
Thank goodness this movie was directed by Steven Spielberg. Are we done pooping over George Lucas, or shall we?
We're done with George.
For now.
But anyway, so Spielberg directed this movie, and it shows. It is impeccable. Masterful control of the camera work, like everything has his fingerprints on it, and it is so good.
It is the work of a master chef.
It is the work of a master chef.
It's true. I'm just
I went to check and see what notes I had written. I just Spielberg. That's the only note I wrote under directing is
She
Spielberg.
also drew a heart around it. I don't know if that's a little weird, but
Yeah. He's so good. There's a reason why he is just continued to be upheld as one of the greats, and it is the amount of time, effort, and attention to detail.
And his love for cinema.
His love for cinema and his love to entertain people.
Thank you. Yes.
He's not.
I was entertained.
He's not making Spielberg isn't making movies for the accolades and the praise and like he's not like that, whatever that fartwad's name is, who did Black Swan and like Mother.
I don't know.
Just like a super arty, pretentious director. Jennifer Lawrence dated him for 3 months and then was like, no, this guy's weird.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I love the shade.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
Like, Spielberg makes movies to entertain people, and because he loves movies. And that's like
I'm saying this knowing nothing about Steven Spielberg. Like, you can tell he loves movies and he loves cinema.
Yeah. And like, I don't even know what else to say apart from that, but the directing is just like so obvious. Like the playfulness of the choices, like clearly like the actors feel free to make different choices, like.
And again, not to just keep harping the same thing, but like the female character, Meredith or whatever her name is?
Marion.
Oh
my word. Lorelle, I've said this like 10 times.
You really have. Hopefully that was the part that didn't get recorded. But just her performance is so atypical to the way that the part was kind of written, and like, or rather just the way that those characters were usually played. And
I'll say for Spielberg movies, normally the female leads are entertaining and interesting and have unique personalities. Like Spielberg also did E.T. and like the child characters, like the little girl, like they're just, they're very real.
Never saw E.T. either.
I haven't either, but I just know that's.
Oh, okay.
That's something
giving opinions on something you know nothing about.
Don't we do that? I was like, don't we do that every week?
That is literally our whole brand, and I support it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just feel like she felt comfortable to play the character that way.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
And I know, I do know everybody on the set also loved working with him. And it's a testament to your directing ability if people want to work with you again and continue to say good things about you.
It is a testament to your working conditions if Harrison Ford wants to come back.
If Harrison Ford wants to come back after years of not doing it.
You did something right.
Yeah. So anyway, well done, Steven.
We love you, Harrison. We love you, Steven.
We love both of you so much. Never change. Keep doing what you're doing.
Never change.
Anyway, Lorelle, that brings us to our grades.
Yeah.
So let's just go through. What was your grade for writing?
For writing, I had initially rated it an A, but then I thought about it and I was like, kind of sexist, kind of culturally appropriation-y, and we didn't really talk about this, but Indiana Jones is kind of a D-I-C-K. So I knocked it down.
He's a dick?
You said the bad word. Oh my God. We don't swear on this Christian Minecraft server. But Indiana Jones is kind of a poop.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's a classic American hero, but he's not really a classic hero.
Yeah.
I love him.
I just thought that, like,
but I wouldn't be friends with him.
I thought that much like Taylor Swift, he was an anti-hero.
He's not, is he an anti? While we were watching the movie, we talked about how the French guy is like, we're not that different. And you were
he's like, I'm nothing like you. I'm like, you are exactly
the
same
you're
person.
Literally the same person.
You're just working for different people. I mean, you're not working for Nazis. You're working for the American government.
Well, don't you love how when he thinks the girl is dead, he's just like vaguely depressed?
Yeah, I'm just drinking.
And drinking. And like, meanwhile, the French guy seemed even like equally upset when he also thought she was going to die. Like, you guys are just the same person. Yeah. You don't care about human life. You care about beautiful women.
Yeah, same person, different accent.
Different accent.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I give it a B+ for those reasons.
I honestly went with an A. Mostly because the writing did not convey the theories behind the movie as much as I thought. And watching it, I was like, okay, I think the problem is more with the cultural appropriation. The problem is more with the casting than the writing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like Salah is a very like gentle, non-problematic character, honestly, if he was actually portrayed by like an Arabic man.
I would like to have someone smarter than me evaluate it, because I'm like, all of the non-white people are being bossed around by white people.
Yeah.
Is it better to have a bad guy who is actually like Egyptian question, I don't know.
Yeah.
But why are all the powerful characters white?
Yeah.
And
Maybe that's the 40s.
maybe
Maybe that's a reflection of the times. But also I
don't know. I want someone smarter than
I'm not going to say it is that the movie is without problems. I don't think that the flaws specifically came through with the writing.
Yeah.
Because
you're not wrong.
I think the problem was definitely more with the casting, because also anybody could have played any of the characters.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
But anyway, so for that reason, I give writing an A.
Very good.
What did you give acting?
I gave acting an A.
Okay.
Despite Harrison Ford being Harrison Ford the whole time.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want. That's what he was cast for. So it's not a problem, really. So, A. What did you give the writing? The acting.
I actually gave the acting a B+.
We swapped.
Just because there were a couple moments with some of the characters where it was just like, not that I was taken out of the movie, but there were moments where it was like a little like too over the top. Certain places.
But that's what I love. So
yeah,
it's
It was more just like maybe we
Fair
could.
enough.
It was like with the Spider-Man thing, like, maybe we could have just done like one more take.
Oh, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, like one more take.
One more take.
One more, maybe you would have gotten it.
Don't you love how self-referential we are? Like, you can tell we both listen to our own podcast.
Yep. Hopefully we're not the only ones.
I'm a narcissist. Listen to every episode more than once.
Oh, bro, you're not a narcissist. You're not any of my exes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm just listening to our podcast for research.
Yeah.
So we can make season 2 even better.
Even better. That's a promise. That's the effing it up. That's the effing it up promise.
That was part of the brand. That is our guarantee.
That's our guarantee.
If you can't pronounce promise, you can choose to say guarantee instead.
Yeah. Don't talk to me for the rest of the podcast.
And there will be lots more insults in season 2. Underhanded.
What was your grade for visuals?
I don't think you'll be surprised. I gave it an A+ because I was freaking in love with the visuals and I just wanted to be a part of that movie set.
Lorelle?
Maya?
I also gave visuals an A+.
Ooh, air high five. Boom. Yes.
And what was your grade?
And it was well deserved.
I was going to say, and what was your grade for directing?
And I gave directing an A.
I also gave directing an A.
We're in sync.
So that brings both of our final grades to an A.
Yeah. Maya's gonna pitch a fit if I say anything but A because she uses her calculator. But I actually did write A.
Yeah, well, since we had all the exact same ones except swapped,
Irrelevant.
it's going to be an A for you too.
No, my final grade is made with my heart, not with math.
Oh my gosh. So, anyway, Indiana Jones received a very well-deserved A.
A from both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it, everybody. This is our season finale. You will see us again in season 2. We have a lot of fun ideas.
Yeah.
I just want to take the time to thank everybody who has listened, who has tuned in, who has shared our posts, who has watched the YouTube channel, the nice black and white cinema that we post to YouTube alongside each of these episodes.
Bringing back black and white cinema.
Yeah.
That's
but anyway,
Maya and me. Reinventing cinema. Oh, I'm sorry.
Stop it. We have had a wonderful time doing this podcast together.
We truly have.
We've enjoyed spending time with each other, insulting each other, and we have enjoyed creating these for the people that have been listening. And we just want to thank you guys all so much. And yeah, keep it feral. We'll see you in season 2. We like you. We don't know who everyone is, so I'll hold off on saying love for now.
Wow, so reserved. Playing hard to get. So elusive. Part of the charm.
See you in season 2, everybody. Thank you again so much.